Shall we start now, sir?
Yes, madam, please.
Hello, everyone. Present here virtually. I am Preeti here. I will be the host today's session. I have welcomed you all for today's session, which is titled as Interstate Migrant Laborers in India, Focus Aspect and Perspective. And presenting this session, we have with us our today's expert, Dr. C. Venkatachalam, sir. Dr. C. Venkatachalam, sir, is MA, MPhil, and PhD in Sociology. 26-year teaching experience in 3 universities as Acharya Nagai Arjun University, Andhra Pradesh, Bhartidasan University, and Periyar University in Tamil Nadu. Currently mentor, professor at Bhartiyar University, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. You may start now, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot, madam. So at the outset, my sincere and heartfelt thanks to go to the business Rojgar. I am not new to this organization. Several occasions I have delivered my lectures on important topics. Today I have chosen the topic on interstate migrant laborers in India, focus, aspects and perspectives. This is a most of the pertaining issue which is prevailing in the Indian context along with the other issues are there. So migrant laborers are coming from different states, settled in different places, and they are using their labor and remitting the money to the respective places. And the issue is now how they are adjusting with each other when there is a language barriers are there, how the people are, why the people are migrating, what are the push factors for the migration, and what are the pull factors also, is prosperous prospects, and what kind of people are migrating. There is issues related to the education, and people are all completely coming from rural areas or urban backgrounds, and what kind of purpose they have. And in this context, there is a research being conducted from here and there in Indian context is concerned. So they are doing the research at micro level. So I am the researcher. I am getting the funding from the ICSSR, doing the this kind of research the past 1 year and going through various literature studies, which helped me to lot to coming to the business Rojgar to discuss about the some of these aspects in three dimensions. So the introduction is concerned, migration is not a new concept because since time immemorial, the concept is being discussed in several occasions, different disciplines, not only by the social scientists, but even though science in many aspects, these topics being discussed much. Since time immemorial, birds, animals, and human beings have been migrated from one place to other place to find out some of the prospects to adjust and changing their lifestyle. Bird migration is a regular seasonal movement, often not in the south among the flyways between breeding and wintering the grounds. Many species are birds are migrating. Not only human beings are migrating, even birds also migrating. Migration carries high cost of killing by one living organism other for food. That is also because why they are escaping from the killing. So the birds are being migrated. Hunting by humans and driven primarily the availability of this focus. It occurs mainly at the specific routes. The birds knows very well about the where to go, what are the routes are available for the to migrate. This birds migration were recorded in Europe at least from 3000 years ago by the ancient Greek writers, we saw it, Homer, Herodotus, and Aristotle. They observed that the migration, because once we were studying about the beyond the human beings, earlier scientists have observed what are things are happening in the this one stars, sun movements, and many other this one planets. But beyond that, mathematics have been developed 5 lakhs years ago. Philosophy has been started to come to the picture 3000 years ago. In this context, because this is beyond the human beings, they started observing what are the migration of the birds. So it is 3000 years ago. Aristotle suggested follies of other birds were hidden. Migration is a regular seasonal movement, often north and south, undertaken by many species of birds. Because migration of the birds is the first kind of things they are searching for, the not only for food, it is a climatic conditions. So migration is a process. Migration marked by annual seasonal and movement between breeding and non-breeding areas. This is important to note that how this being observed when there is no much technologies available those days. No migratory birds movements include those who made the response to the environmental changes, including food availability, habitat, and weather. Because these are the important three aspects. The food is the searching for the food, habitat, living areas, and the weather conditions, which helped them to move from one place to other place. They have the specific routes also. Largely a nation blessed with the geographical diversity, India possesses wildlife few other countries can match. Along with India is one of the geographical localities widespread and different climatic areas depending on the soil conditions. So the birds are moving from one place to other place, as we told that the food, shelter, and the weather conditions. While huge multitude of animals walk in terrain and equal impressive number of birds soar skies, the nation extends its famed hospitality to whole host of migratory birds as well. Because we can understand that the animals moving from one place slowly, birds are flying like anything because of its migratory character has been developed. Siberian cranes, for example, some of the birds, the endangered species, Siberian crane is very distinctive, engaged member in the crane family. It is moving from, while it is nests western Siberia throughout the year, the cranes are undergo 4,000 miles journey to India every winter to escape the deathly cold and lack of food in the Siberian regions. Because 4,000 miles journey, the birds are making the Siberian cranes because they are in a position to go far away, coming to India for the food and other things. Greater flamingo, while the flamingo safari might renewed by all over the Bombay, they are found in India and migrate within the country itself. So after reaching this one, Maharashtra, Mumbai, and other places, they are going to various places. Rough the journey from Arctic tundra region to the Himalayas. They are coming because they like Himalayan regions, the feather and the conditions for livelihood. They rough are reaching Himalayas. Northern shore over the journey from Europe to northern Asia to Himalayas is also birds are moving from one place to other place. The rosy pelican journey from Europe to North India, that is also notable. The garble, the journey from Europe to North America, Bhopal particularly in India, because the climatic conditions are so migration is there as a pull factors we can call it. Black-tailed godwit, this journey from island to Russia and North India, they are also coming and searching for the food, shelter, and many aspects. The spotted red sand, the journey from Scandinavia to Haryana, the blue throat, the journey from Europe to Alaska to Rajasthan, Asian quail, the journey from Singapore to Pondicherry, black crowned night heron, the journey from Argentina, Chile, and China to Bengal regions of India, Eurasian golden oriole, the journey from Europe to Africa to India, they are giving the coming to Africa and coming to India also. There, which shows that the migration is not only by the human beings, but other birds also doing wonderfully. Eurasian golden oriole, the journey from Europe to Africa, India. The come duck, the journey from Madagascar and South Asia to Haryana. Blue-cheeked bee eater, the journey from Africa and other parts of Europe, peninsula of India. This is the birds migrating. Along with the birds, the animals too migrate. Some animals such as Galapagos tortoise in their entries into one place to other place. Others such as monarch butterfly, arctic tern migrate Animals have adapted migrate based on the seasons of the geographical variations, geographical locations. Sea turtles, because it's available in the scientists have recorded some leatherback turtles traveling across the Pacific Ocean between Indonesia and the west coast of United States and Canada, which totals more than 10,000 miles. The dragonflies are capable of long distance migrations, but still, scientists had no idea about how far they travel. Widest beast, known as greater migration, millions of wild beasts suddenly migrating from the same in each year. Monarch butterflies. The annual monarch butterfly migration spans 3,000 miles and might be the most colorful migration in the natural world. So we can understand that how these butterflies, animals, they are moving from one place to other place, which is a starting point to understand that how the human migration. North American caribou populations migrate farther in terrestrial mammal journey that can span more than 838 miles annually. Salmon is impressive travel hundreds of miles inland fresh water and 1,000 miles in the ocean during their migration to feed the growth. The juvenile plant cutter. These organisms such as diatoms and they kill the float in the ocean column, sea like unlikely migratory animals because they are within the sea, they are migrating the seas. So this is a basic idea about the before starting the human migration is concerned. Birds, animals, butterflies, many more. For the kind information, I have added some of the migratory character of these things. Now coming to the human migration is concerned. Human migration is after fertility and mortality, migration is one of the causes for population growth because three parameters are there: fertility. The recent times fertility has come down because many families are following the small family norms. Mortality heavily came down because mortality is not expected that things mortality come down. But migration is we are not having any specific data in migration, out migration. It is being the research done by the at micro level by many scientists, population experts, and all. Different kinds of migration take place in the world: rural, urban to urban, and urban to rural. So mostly we can understand that rural to urban migration is more prosperous because it is as a Lipton sociologists say it is an urban bias. Amongst the rural to urban migration is more. Migrations falls into several broad categories. First, internal and international migration may be distinguished within the country. There are movement of individuals from family from one area to another area. The reason is because intercontinental, international, and interstate. Second migration is maybe voluntary or forced migration. Voluntary migration, people are liking, they move to one place to other place for their prosperous. Most voluntary migration, whether internal or external, it is undertaken in search of better economic opportunities or housing. We can add the list education. Now, recent past, this is the health, medical for medical tourism also being developed, health tourism. Even once upon a time, we're talking about the third world countries, people searching for the better health in the first world countries. But what is the recent statistics mentioning about the first world countries, people coming to the third world countries? Because we already have the health system, Ayurveda, Unani, and this different kind of system we have. So the people are coming to the wherever external application of the drugs, oil massage, and many places become popular. Not only in India, in Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, and many parts of the India in concern with the Kerala, and many places people coming to the even we can understand that the people are migrating for various purpose, not only for the education, but people are coming for the health aspect also. Forced migration, other kind of migration, usually involve people who have been expelled the government during the war or other political upheavals, or who have been forcibly transported as slaves or prisoners, because it is forced migration. Not only environment also playing a vital role. When the trees are being cut, the people are moving from because there is a livelihood is a big question mark. So sometimes political issues, ethnic issues also there. For example, what is happening in the Sri Lanka and many parts. The people are moving from one country to other country. Even SAARC nations also, we can understand that within the 8 nations, some of the people of Afghanistan going to some countries, the Pakistani people go to some countries, this one Mauritius people moving from one place to other place. Like that, there is a different kinds of things. In the map of Europe, for example, the product of several major migration involving Germanic peoples, slaves, and other among the others. In the course of 400 years from late 16th century through the 20th century, there is a lot of migration take place because Americans, Australia, Oceania, northern half of the Asia and Africa were colonized by European migrants. Because this is a situation behind it, because not only by the this UK, but many countries, even including Italy and many countries occupying the places, the people have the reason for the migration. Largest migration history was in the so-called Great Atlantic Migration from Europe to North America. The first major wave of which began in the 1840s, is mass movement from Ireland and Germany. In the 1880s, second large wave developed in the eastern and southern Europe between 1880 to 1910. Some 17 million Europeans entered in the United States because people are moving from, because of the development of the industry in the 1700. This is Arlan Time B of the historian. So making the mark that industries might have been developed in the year 1700 in the Europe and slowly moving to the American. So like that, industry is taking the people to find the prosperous, because it's a secondary sector beyond the primary sectors during the agricultural activities. The total number of Europeans in the United States amount to 37 million between 1820 and 1980. This is the period 13 million people have been migrated. From 1801 to 1914, about 7.5 million migrants moved from Europe to Asiatic Russia. Because across the world, people are being migrated from one or the other reason. Various factors are beginning, variable we can identify. So Homo sapiens, the first modern humans, because it's the industrious, the man with intelligence evolved from the the predecessors between 2 lakhs and 3 lakhs years ago. They developed a capacity of language about 50,000 years ago. Development of language, the people identify the culture, the norms, values, and what are things are availability of the things. It is they could understand. The first modern human began to move outside of Africa starting about 70,000 to 1 lakh years ago. These are the observation made by the people who are keep on making the observation about because it is history is not available. Written documents are not there. The people through the oral history, the qualitative research they use, they identify this kind of the data. Humans are the only known species that have successfully population adapted to significantly settled wide variety of land region across the world, resulting profound historical and environmental impacts. We can understand that even though we discuss about the birds, animals are migrating, but human migrates adapt to the situation, the assimilation factor, the identify the various phenomena where they're settling and they're making the places are very prosperous, and wherever they go from the moving destination, they make the area is powerful. Homo sapiens part of the group called hominids, which is the earliest humankind creatures. Based on the archaeological anthropological evidence, between 2.5 and 4 million ago, eastern and southern Africa, there was the migration took place. It is happening in the because of the historical researches are proving the things. So interstate migration, this main topic is coming to the things, because migration of workers from one state to other state is a continuous process. It's a dynamic in nature. Why we call dynamic in nature? Hello. So tell me. Sorry for the inconvenience. Migration, interstate migration from one place. As per the census 2011, the total number of interstate migrant workers in the country is 4 crores 14 lakhs 22,917, because the data available. In most of the populous state in UP, headed by the country where the first capital saying that moved out of compulsion, like hundreds of millions of workers with a lesser education move out. Because the interstate migration is concerned not only by the people compulsion, the force, the push factors because of non-availability of the jobs, and they're searching for the prosperous focus. Because my discussion is in the three aspects. First is focus. Migration of the workers from rural to urban occurred because of the unbalanced economic growth development in the region or state is concerned. Because India is the different religion, different language, linguistic differences, and wide variety of these things. But within the things, all the states are not uniform in connection with the industries are concerned, agricultural operations are concerned, even agriculture varieties also place to place differ. Some places are useful for the coffee, some places are useful for tea, some places are very famous for rubber, some places for famous for the this one, other things. On the base of the things, the industrial development is taking place, and the people prosperous, and the tiny sectors also, auxiliary units also being developed for for example, for textile industry, many auxiliary units are required. It is recognized the fact that labor force to be found migrate from less developed regions or state to comparatively more developed regions. It's quite natural because of that diaspora studies mentioning that how the people are migrating from one place to one country to other country. So they are finding these things. Many people migrate in Canada. Canada is being called as a country of immigrants. The people moved from India to many parts of the world. They are occupying important positions because of the developed so-called industrialized developed nations attracting them to deliver their labor in that particular country. The phenomena continues to state it like a classic and a new classical economists, because economists divide themselves how the classical kind of motivation take place in earlier people rudimentarily moving from one place to other place without having any plan. They stay for some time, which is being called as a short-term migration, medium-term migration, long-term migration. They keep the people here and moving to one place. So they find some the economic prosperity and all. They come back and making their money is useful for this. Is a classic. But today we are talking about the GK economy. The people are informal economies more. They find wherever the possibilities are. In recent years, international migration has become more present. However, it restricts to skilled labor force because the interstate migration is people with a lesser education, they can move. But people going to the international migration, country like UK, USA, Canada, France, Germany, and all the things, people are skilled labor. Skilled labor force is a very interesting one. For example, Schengen visa for the people going to the Germany and neighboring European Union countries. The people are skilled, or they are being attracted by the countries. Both skilled and unskilled workers migrate not to their district but state also for another state, where employment jobs, industrial jobs, even agricultural jobs are available. There is today we can find many of the people coming from northeast. They settled in many of the South Indian states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Pondicherry, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. They say they after some time they develop self-employment. They are understanding the small how to start small scale units, and so migration is getting a new shape. Migration is not only for the providing employment, but they identify what are the possibilities are there. So they're searching for industrial jobs. Plenty of industrial jobs are available, and they're ready to accept any kind of jobs because they are migrated within a short span of time. They develop themselves. Beyond that, they started to work in the agriculture field also. Agriculture also because the non-availability of the local labor force and feminization of agriculture. Many of the men folk, the searching for the job for the unorganized sector because it is a seasonal job of agriculture. So these places being occupied by the interstate migrant laborers, they're ready to take up the job in the farming field also. There are few states and districts in India are more than advanced compared to developed, are more attracted laborers from the other regions or states, because few states, as per statistics mentioning that 17 districts in India, we are able to push the labor force to such employment elsewhere because of backwardness and many aspects are there. The Maharashtra state is a more attractive destination to corridor for the labor force, which have from states like Bihar, UP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal. Because we know very well the Maharashtra is this one of the business capital of India. It has many industries, many trades, and many. When the large scale industries are available, textile mills and all, but they need many auxiliary units. For example, small needle preparation, the buttons, and the small boxes, and are attractive places, not only for the only one sector, but many sectors, because it attracts people from the so-called the lesser than uh, Maharashtra in terms of economic activities are concerned. Bihar, UP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal are concerned. There are various reasons why labor forces in these states are more attracted to migrants, because important reason is that the noticeable among the migratory population, different wages rates, monthly income, regular employment, good basic amenities, and the safety of the life. Because we know very well we are working in the human development is concerned. Human development is the many positive sides are being looked after. For example, there should be a gender disparity. Gender disparity is there in terms of the income generation activities in the unorganized sector is concerned, including agriculture. So what is happening, because even though we are providing potable water to all the households, electricity, and this one LPG cylinder, but in spite of all the things, this is our physically we are in a position to. But this is the gender disparity in terms of education, in terms of wages are concerned. Even though women are politically given the reservation and all the things, but still we have to go for a long way, which is reflecting in the India could not achieve successful rate in terms of the human development index is concerned. See, in India, the Bombay, Pune, Aurangabad, Nasik, Nagpur, and the landed districts are highly preferred destination for the labor forces concerned. The people easily moving from other states, they're coming to the selected districts is more in terms of the jobs are available. It is noticed that those are migrated from UP and Bihar, and they're either unutilized or underused in their home places, or no opportunities of any kind of employment, are more likely to migrate, where opportunities in employment, higher wage rate, and comparatively more. We can understand even though cost of living is high, but the people are getting regular employment, and they are in a position to, they couldn't find the employment chances in the respective districts. So which we can call the push factor of the respective district and the pull factor of Maharashtra and the selected district as mentioned. So it is interesting to note that the labor force for UP and Bihar without families initially until they find regular employment and place of living. This is another dimension, because first male migration takes place. Later on, what he is the male is doing, that he is bringing his family. The female migration takes place on the once a male is migrated, the forced migration or the impact of male migration on the families are concerned. Once they find it, they shift the families, otherwise they remit the money. Regularly families throw their back. We can understand that, because family is being divided, and the man coming here and until he is settled, but remittance is being sent. Those who migrate from UP, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal are mostly from rural areas concerned. Already we can understand that rural to urban migration is taking place much. These states, rural areas are found underdeveloped and have no employment opportunities, which focuses the labor to find destination for regular employment. Because regularity, the prosperity, and all this is the aspect which is being, some other research find that because metals are being involved for the migration, people want to store the money, people want to add because respective places, housing conditions and all, it may not be developed. So in this context, they are keep on asking this. Out of 1.02 billion people in the country, 307 billion or 30% were reported as migrants by place of birth. We can understand that this is the reason for 30% of the people is moving from migratory place. This proportion of the case of India, excluding Jammu and Kashmir, slightly more than what they reported in the 1991, because as long as old data from. There has been steady increase in the country's number of migrants. Keep on people are migrating because migration is a process. Already we know that how this migration is. Whereas under 1961, there were about 144 million migrants in place of birth. On 2001 census, it was 3,007 million. As per 2011 census, Maharashtra received the largest number of migrants, 7.9 million by place of birth from states other countries, followed Delhi 5.6 million and West Bengal 5.5 million. In 1991 census, corresponding number of migrants to Maharashtra was 4.3 million, Delhi 3.7 million, West Bengal some million, indicating sharp rise in the migration all over the world through the decade. Through the last decade, 1991 to 2011, the number of migrants in India, including Jammu and Kashmir, rose 32.9%, high comparison with India's population, which recorded growth rate of 21.5 during this decade. Because we can understand that the migration is because 2011 census was more number of migrants for the respective figures are slightly increasing from this is because in between we have come across COVID-19 aspects. The second aspect, the aspect of interstate migration. Why migration is a long distance, labor procure the person perfect market information whether they will go to jobs or not, because they are studying. The intermediaries are there. The people once they migrate, they identify that the place is the place of the destination is useful for them. Is slightly moving from, because safety net is very important. Also, they verify information on the state employability, whether rates, wage rates, prevalent payment system, and good connectivity with roads, railways, buses to various labor markets and destination points of migration. These are the factors are being taken into consideration by employability is more important aspects than other aspects also being followed. Various channels like contractors, relatives, news, media, and handy are getting the right information, because some of the non-governmental organization, community-based organization, voluntary organizations are more attractive for them. They are identifying they are keeping some of the laborers with them, because many of the migrants laborers from moving from rural areas in general, they are coming and settling wherever the food is being free and the shelter is being free. So this type of migration, they feel that it is a comfortable zone for them, because there is no need to search for the households for rent and other things. So generally, this type of migration, male is migrating more. They don't want to bring their spouses until they settle down for a certain period, and slowly they are understanding the local culture and other things. Market information, stability, stable employability to be found the most important information, because this is the most important variable also for the migration is concerned. Stable employability. Employability is more important. And once they settle down, once they understood they useful for them to make it. Before deciding on migration, they compare locally available regular employability and the total employment days in the week, the employability available at the migration destination points. We have interviewed many of the respondents in Coimbatore, Tirupur, Erode, and Chennai. We could find that these are the fact information that people are searching for, instead of regular employability on the one hand, but they try to maximize the income. They're searching for a job. They don't want to stay in a particular job for a while. They keep on moving, they changing and learning this one, where the industries are, the individuals are in a position to provide the employment opportunities. The next step is that migrants roughly calculate weekly through the wage rates available in local places, and the migration destinations are compared the wages rate advantage local wage rates, which is a strong point to encourage this migrant. It is quite obvious. We can understand that they compare when they're migrating from one place, the destination should be more prosperous, more prospects, and some kind of a welcoming aspects are there. Which is the people being encouraged to migrate. The connectivities through the railway and the cheaper transport facility plays a crucial role in the process of migration, because it's a quite natural. Railway connectivity is more important, and people easily from go to one place to other place, because they are also finding the things beyond the safety net and the regular income, and this by this also being calculated by the people. The observed migrants usually hesitate to move to places where the cheaper transport facilities are unavailable. The connectivity through costly means of transportation. Because this is the once upon a time under 2001. But in between now, 22 years old now, but the data says that most of the places connectivity is even small roads, approach roads, the connectivity roads, mud roads. Most of the mud roads are being changed, because everywhere the local transport system is available to take the places. Even they want to stay in the remote places, from there they are coming to the urban centers, because they are avoiding the more rental and easily for as a commuters. On the advantage, migrant disclose their positive impacts on the economic and social aspect of the life, as well as they could change their lifestyle because of increase in the total monthly income. Income is playing a vital role. In addition to the income, the proper planning method also helping them to move from their economic aspect as social aspect is concerned. Because social aspect is their social status being improved, the lifestyle being changed. They are in a position to save certain amount of money. It will be useful for the crisis. So it is found that 40% of migrants renovating the houses in the hometowns. 6.25 migrants are constructing new houses, and 20% of migrants moved renewable agriculture farms in the land. We can understand that, because the people who have a proper planning and they are in a position to save the money in the destination, they are making the livelihood in hometowns. Because hometowns being so often, we can say that migration is a dynamic aspect, which is being not only for the people who going for the migrating, but they are changing the lifestyle, learning one particular language, but it will help them to learn the culture. Adaptable food also very important. Some migrants, 36.25 reported they spend a lot of the income in the marriages, either close relatives or themselves. Majority of the migrants, 86.25, reported that they spend the raising social setting, including clothes and food in their hometown. This is also another dimension how the migration is helping them to change their lifestyle. Families who live in the hometown generally more than three-fourths of the family, they receive regular remittance at their hometown. Overall, migrants, their families, relatives receive total 12 types of benefits. They being calculated, being observed. 12 types of benefits have been developed now through the remittance of money. The second aspect of my lecture. Third is perspectives. There is a perspectives are evolution, migration, evolutionary process, social change. Social change, some kind of changes are very speedy, some things are very moderate, some kind of changes are very fast. Because materials are very fast, and some changes are taking place in terms of slowly build up the confidence. So it is developing them to evolutionary process. Second is conflict. Conflict is always a positive in terms of migration is concerned. Why migration conflict in terms of, because the local places are different, because their completely culture is completely changed. The different kind of culture, different kind of environment, different mindset of the entrepreneur. So they are adjusting. So conflict, they also facing the conflict, but the only part